Hey guys, thanks for logging on. Um, and thanks to all the subscribers. I'm happy to say that I have almost 600 subscribers, and I'm really thrilled to see that number. And I'd hope to see 1,000 soon. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Um, and as I've said in the previous video, I've got these watches with me now. I've got the Reverso, the Sub, and the AP. And before they go back to the security vault, I'm gonna make some content. So something that gets to me when I'm reading forums and looking at comments online is the issue of the high-end sports watch. um, it's funny to see some people burning commenters in the high-end sections when they talk about, say, an Omega or a Rolex. But what is high-end? Well, to me, high-end is, well, I'd say anything over Rolex and Omega would be considered high-end because of the work that Omega and the Swatch Group and Rolex can put in for a watch at a very affordable price. But in reality, high-end is what you can afford and what you like and what you consider high-end for yourself. So when you look at high-end watches, you need to think about the price. So in my mind, these are both high-end watches, but they're clearly at two different levels because this versus this, the price difference is huge. And sometimes you ask yourself, well, why is it? And I'm hoping to explain to anyone who might want to know what the difference is between, say, a five, six, seven, eight, $9,000 high-end watch or a 15 to 20,000 or even more with limited editions watches. So let's look at the Rolex. This is a perfectly good watch. It's extremely well made. Probably will last longer than myself. Certainly going to pass on to a few generations. But let's look at the case first. It's not particularly high-end finished. The dial is very simple, a black dial with white gold markers. The case itself is very simple. There's no chamfered edges. There's no fancy finishing. But look, we need to talk about Rolex, and Rolex is a different kettle of fish because Rolex is able to put in a lot of very fine finishing at very affordable prices. But when it comes to the grand scheme of things, this watch is not extremely well finished as a AP or Patek. If you look at the links, there's no chamfering on the edges, there's no intricate polishing or brushing. It's a simple brush placement. And of course, the case back is sealed. That's because Rolex would not put a high-end finishing as AP would, unless it's their Cellini line. So look, there's nothing wrong with what Rolex does. I think Rolex does they do what they do, and they do it well. That's a very well made watch. May not have all the bells and whistles and the chamfered edges and the Geneva stripes and blued screws. Oh, they probably do have the blued screws, but it's not the same as an AP. Let's look at an AP. You immediately see that the dial has significant amount of decoration on it. Beautiful waffle pattern and the transfer printed Audemars Piguet and the automatic. Then if you look at the bezel and the case, you can see there's brush finishing and polish finishing. And if you look at this angle here, you can see that the watch has a flat surface meeting another flat surface, but the surface between is chamfered, and that takes a lot of work and effort. Then look at the bracelet. Each link has 4 sublinks connecting them, and each part has brushed and polished sections to it. So a lot of manual work has gone into finishing this. And then there's the movement. It's looking at a 24 karat hand engraved rotor, and you can see there's Geneva striping, and if you compare this to, say, an Omega movement of a $3,000-4,000 watch, you'll immediately see the difference between the movements. So it all boils down to the amount of work and the craftsmanship put into the watch. This watch, someone's sat down, polished this corner, polished that corner, brushed all these, and then polished these edges. The case has been stamped, and then the edges have been chamfered, polished, and again the waffle pattern on the dial. Takes a good bit of manual work, but it's not completely hand done, obviously. With the Rolex, a lot of this is going to be machine made, but hand finished again. But as I said at the beginning, there's nothing wrong with either of these watches. They're both worth the money that you pay for them, and they certainly have a place in any collection. I'd love to know what you guys think about the different tiers of high end, and whether you think paying sometimes 3, 4, 5 times the price of a Rolex is worth the high end name. But putting brand recognition and value retention aside, is a watch that's hand finished, hand engraved, worth paying 3, 4, 5 times when one of these watches will last you just as long and probably much easier to live with? So I'll leave that out there for the comments. If you have any questions about these watches or any of my other watches, please leave a comment below. I hope the lighting on this video is a lot better. I still do use manual focus because I think it's better for the macro shots. Again, please subscribe, and I'd love to see as many comments as you guys want to leave, and ask as many questions as you like. I try to answer all of them. Thanks.